So let's talk about your move to Vectara. So I don't think it's lost on anyone that there's this new data world emerging with vector databases and generative AI and all of these things. So let's talk a little bit about kind of, Shane, from your perspective, what you saw that made you think, okay, I need to get into this space now or eventually, and then kind of how that led you to Vectara.
Yeah, and you joined Vectara before ChatGPT came out, right? It wasn't like, oh, this is a huge space, I better go get in it.
So, I mean, a lot of it goes back to some of the, when you are working in a company like Elastic, you're exposed to very interesting users that in some cases are very advanced in their usage. And you start taking these cues of like, this is definitely where the market's going to go eventually for this thing. And back in 2018, there was this seminal paper released, a series of them from Google. The first one being this thing called Attention is All You Need. And then, this sort of introduction of a large language model called BERT. And we started getting a lot of questions from some of these users that you just know these folks are really staying on top of it. This is going to be the direction of search in the future. How do I integrate BERT into Elasticsearch? And that was the wrong question to ask for those users, really. But the real question that they should have been asking is, Elasticsearch doesn't handle vector storage and approximate nearest neighbor search very well. How can we handle something like that? And that would have been a much more interesting question to be asking. But transformers, for sure, 2018 became very obvious. And it became obvious to me that, like, from Elastic's perspective, the full text search world was just a tiny drop in the bucket relative to the observability world, and it was going to be very difficult to get investments inside the business on full text search that was so new and so different than anything else that had come up before. So that's where I really first started learning about transformers. Yeah, it was 2018 when some of these users were talking about it, and was immediately obvious to me like how much time and money could be saved by not having teams of folks manage, synonyms and zero hit queries and all the stuff that senior search teams struggle with. So